So, so hello everyone. This is Sausif Ahmed and I'm from Warangal. So, this IELTS speaking test is taking place at Triumph English Tutorials, which is located at Subedari, Hanmakunda. So, today we are going to have a full speaking test, and always remember in your IELTS speaking test, you should be confident while you speak. Should I maintain eye contact? It's good to maintain, but eye contact specifically does not carry marks. Okay, you'll not have your score just on eye contact. No, the way you pronounce, right, your vocabulary also does carry, but no need to use very fancy words, not really needed. Okay, be cohesive, right, well connected sentences undali, right, and also make sure, ensure that the grammatical accuracy is good, right. So first three questions will be asked to every student. What's your full name? Where are you from? And what can I call you? So I'm not going to ask you those. Anyways, they don't carry any weightage. The weightage starts from part 1. So we'll start with part 1. And remember, ఎప్పుడైతే మీరు IELTS ఎగ్జామ్కి వెళ్తారో, carry your original valid passport, a color copy of front and back. ఒకవేళ ఆన్లైన్ స్లాట్ బుక్ చేసేటప్పుడు సబ్మిట్ చేయకుండా తీసుకెళ్ళండి. సబ్మిట్ చేస్తే అవసరం లేదు, రైట్. ఒరిజినల్ పాస్పోర్ట్ అయితే ఏ పరిస్థితులైనా తీసుకెళ్ళాలి, రైట్. అండ్ ఆల్సో ట్రై క్యారింగ్ అ మాస్క్, బికాస్ కోవిడ్-19 ఎపిడమిక్ తర్వాత దాదాపు చాలామందికి మాస్క్ చేయమంటుండ్రు. సో యా, దట్స్ ఇట్. ఓకే, సో రైటింగ్, లిజనింగ్, రీడింగ్ అప్పుడేమో మీ స్టేషనరీ తీసుకెళ్ళండి. ఇంకా ఈమెయిల్ ఏమైతే వస్తుందో మీకు వెన్యూది, అది కూడా తప్పకుండా తీసుకెళ్ళాలండి. ఓకే, సో లెట్స్ స్టార్ట్ విత్ పార్ట్ 1. సో ఐఎమ్ గోయింగ్ టు ఆస్క్ యూ ఫ్యూ క్వశ్చన్స్ అబౌట్ యువర్ సెల్ఫ్. సో లెట్స్ స్టార్ట్ బై టాకింగ్ అబౌట్ traveling. Okay, so do you like traveling?
Yes, sir, I do like traveling a lot. I usually go on travel or visit various tourist places during my free time, during summer times, which is the best suited location, which is best suited for the travel purposes.
All right.
I also prefer going with my family to the locations where I can enjoy the most and have some memorable events and click photos which are stored for my future purposes.
Okay, so can you tell me a tourist place which you have recently been to?
Yes, so the recent place I have been to is the Mysore Palace, which is situated in Mysore, Karnataka. It's an historical place which was built by Cholas in 1900s. The place is very big and there are many visitors during peak hours of the day, as it is historical monument in place in the Karnataka.
All right.
And it also has a very big aspect of fame in history.
Okay, so do you prefer traveling with your friends or family members, and why?
Basically I like to travel with both. I like to travel with family as well as with my friends. As to like in some conditions, like whether I want to visit some places like temples or any historical monuments, I would like to travel with my family, where I can get most of the knowledge from my father. And when it comes to fun and travel, like visiting any beaches or Goa, etc., I would like to travel with friends because we can have many fun activities over there, which are best suited with friends.
Okay, so do you prefer traveling by train or bus? Which one and why? Or a car?
Actually, I like to travel by car because it gives us some comfortness and peace of mind while traveling. And we can adjust our timings according to our schedule, not to rely on the limited amount of time as given by the train or bus, because we have some particular time. By car we can move freely whenever or wherever we want. We can change our plans and change our routes according to our situations.
Alright, that's great. So let's proceed by talking about flowers. Okay, so what's your favorite flower and why?
Flower. My favorite flower is rose because it is in pink color and it gives us sweet aroma.
Alright.
And it fills us with freshness, and we have a peace of mind while looking at those flowers. And they are also very beautiful when placed near puja.
Yeah, rituals.
During rituals.
All right, very good. So yeah, what kinds of plants grow near the place where you live? What kinds of plants grow near the place where you live?
Like
Money plant, any tulsi plant, anything like that. Yeah.
the location where I am staying currently has so much water underground. So
Okay.
most of the trees which grow around my place are
Plants.
neem trees or cactus, like some traditional plants like tulsi and many flower decoration plants like roses
Okay.
or some flower plants
Okay.
like jasmine, etc.
All right. So, have you ever bought flowers for someone else?
Yes, sir. I usually buy flowers for my mother during her birthday
All right.
or any special occasions like my parents' anniversary or
Okay.
gifting any friend whom is going to get married or someone like that.
Okay. All right. So, do you use flowers to decorate your house?
Yes, sir. As I am from India,
Okay.
most of the people who are staying in India usually prefer flowers for while decorating for their homes
Okay.
during festivals or birthdays or functions
All right.
because they look very attractive and also very good while decorated.
All right, that's fine. So I'm going to give you a part 2 question now. So this is your question. See, good morning. So whenever you get something which is having an option like or, so you can either speak about that or this. So here the question is about a review you read about a product or service. You can either talk about a product or a service. So yeah, you have 1 minute to prepare notes for this. Okay. So you can make some points. In the real exam, you'll also have a specific separate sheet of paper and a pencil to prepare notes. So your 1 minute preparation time starts now. You'll all have a speaking test today. Okay. Yes, you can start speaking.
Hello, sir. I would like to talk about a review recently I have read about iPhone 15 Pro Max.
Okay.
I read this review in Google from one of the famous tech YouTubers,
Okay.
MKBHD.
Okay.
He's an American influencer
Okay.
who mainly focuses on tech and informations. And I read his review like the product was iPhone 15 Pro Max,
Okay.
which is having which is a new trend in nowadays because many people are more focused to buy iPhones, which they think it predicts their which predicts their status in the society,
Okay. Depicts.
depicts their value in the society.
Okay.
And the information which the review gave is about the features of the iPhone,
Okay.
like the type of bionic chip used and the type of the color and the storage and what is the RAM and the camera megapixels.
Okay.
Which, however, these are very good. I also read about the price of the iPhone, which is very costly.
Very nice.
And it can't be affordable by many people, many middle class peoples. And I also went through some of the EMI options available for the iPhone 15 Pro Max, which is given in the review according to the US pricings. But I have converted them using converted them to Indian pricings.
Okay.
And by reviewing this, by studying this review,
Okay.
I also I suggested my friend to buy this one because he was willing to buy some new iPhone. For this purpose, I have done the research on iPhone about the review, and I have given.
Thank you. So your 2 minutes time has been completed. So I'm asking you the rounding off questions. Always remember part 2 Tarvata, examiner is going to ask you a couple of rounding off questions. So do you frequently read reviews on the internet?
Yes, I frequently like to read reviews in the internet because they give an different perspectives from different people, and we can easily judge the product by seeing the reviews. And because the people who are giving the reviews have experienced or used the product, and they will give the reviews according to it. So basically, by reading the reviews, we can get an idea of the picture, idea of the product.
Yeah. All right. So, do you think reviews persuade people to buy products? Can they encourage people to buy products?
Yes, definitely yes, sir. Because most of the people nowadays rely on the internet.
Okay.
So they basically go through the Amazon or any Flipkart online services for their online shopping nowadays.
Okay.
So most of the people like to go on through the reviews for every product which they are willing to buy.
All right.
So that they can have different angles of perspectives.
Okay. Good. So let's move to part 3. Okay. This is a two-way discussion. So, what kinds of things do people write online reviews about in your country?
Basically, they write about the features and the quality and the durability of the product.
Very good.
Whether it is lasting long or is it useful for a lifelong purposes.
Okay.
And they also write about the pricing, whether it should be affordable, whether it is costly, etc. So many people also write reviews whether it is good or bad, or is it or the platform which is providing the products is valid or sufficiently giving the products.
So why do you think people write online reviews? What might be the reason behind this? It is to help others.
Like many people give their time to write online reviews so that they can share their experience about the product to other people who are willing to buy the product, which can give them further insight whether to buy the product or not. Some people also share their reviews to express their sad or their angry frustration towards the product.
Very good. Very
because
good.
they are not satisfied with the product, so they suggest some people not to go with the product.
Okay. All right. So, why do you think some people post highly negative reviews on the internet about a specific product? What might be the reason for that?
The reason may be that they may not like the product, or they have some
dissatisfied.
They are dissatisfied about the product, or they have some like clashes with the product or some with the platform.
All right.
Also, sometimes they may not like the brand, so that they give some negative reviews to destroy their brand image.
All right, that's very convincing answer. Nice. So now let's proceed by talking about customer service. Okay, so do you think working as a customer service executive is a tough job or is it an easier job?
Yes, according to my opinion, working as a customer service executive is a difficult job because every person has their different set of minds. Whenever you need to go through a customer call, you need to understand their situation where they are in, who is complaining towards the product. We need to pay attention to their details.
All right.
And it takes a hefty amount of mind work to work through the call, so that they should not be demotivated, or they should not be in the distress about the product. So we need to convince them to buy the product again and again.
So can you give me a few examples of jobs which involve customer service?
Like there are some services like providing Amazon.
Yes, like very nice. E-commerce websites.
E-commerce websites, and also some service provider websites like any water filters or refrigerators, coolers, where they need to go, like where they are needed for the customer services whenever the product is not working properly.
All right. So, do you think customers are more likely to complain about the product these days?
Yes, sir. Because in every every like many people tend to give their reviews,
Okay.
or they call whenever they are having some difficulty in the product.
Okay.
If the product is good, they never call the customer care.
Okay.
But whenever they are having some trouble, they frequently call the customer care to solve their issues or give them some compensation for the product which has been damaged.
Okay. So, is it important for companies to take all customer complaints seriously and work on those?
Yes, sir. Because I believe that they should, every company should focus on every call, every complaint of the customers.
Okay.
Because it tends to give the like for the it gives some space for the development for them, and they can also learn from their mistakes, which can be given from different perspectives of the people.
All right. Okay, that was a convincing answer. Okay, so yeah, that is the end of your speaking. Okay, in the real exam, the examiner is going to cross question a little bit. Okay, so on the whole, it was good. The only thing which I feel is that there were few repetitions once you start the sentence, and again you tend to start the sentence, so you can reduce this thing. Okay, another thing. Okay, in part 3 the answers were quite convincing, and in part 1 and part 2 always remember, examiner is never interested to know the personal things. Even in part 3 it's not a personal thing, but in part 3 they are going to ask you about your views, right, on something or solutions, right? So basically there are few types of questions in part 3, like suggestions, making suggestions, or opinion, or evaluating others' opinion, sometimes talking about good or bad, or sometimes suggesting solution for something. These are the common questions. Yeah, hypothetical questions, they might appear in part 1, right? Recently one of a student got about celebrity, would you like to be? This is a completely imaginary question, that is why you call it as a hypothetical question. So on the whole, the fluency was quite good, but the repetitions were interrupting them a little bit, right? So if I had to give you a score, probably it might be 6.5, and mark my words, probably you will be getting a 6.5 band. Okay, definitely not a 6, right? Because the content was fluent, but the thing, like I said, interrupting the fluency were hesitations. Okay, and yeah, at one point you said peoples, it's actually people, right? And yeah, sometimes the answers were not ended properly. Try ending them. See, one thing which examiners look for is that they want your answers to be crisp and clear. Okay, sometimes the answers might be short, no need to worry. And the rule for part 1, always remember, is to answer the question in sentences by giving a reason. Keep the timing around 15. First 10 seconds, then slowly improve it to 15, then 17, 18 is enough. Okay, no need to speak for 25, 30 seconds for a part 1 answer. Yeah, try expanding in part 3, because sometimes when you don't give proper answer, if the examiner feels that the answer is devoid of example, they might ask you that, can you give few examples? That is why I asked you a question, right? Like you said, okay, that was a convincing answer. Like customer service, right? You have jobs related to e-commerce websites, right, where people have call centers especially to resolve the complaints from the customers. Okay, so on the whole it was a good test. Okay, not a problem. You can get a decent score of around 6.5, I believe, right? That's it. Okay.